This is the CC Radio Podcast. Welcome to Comic Confidential, the weekly show where we discuss our favorite things from popular culture. I'm the sickest boy named Cade.
The sickest boy.
The sickest boy.
Like which type of sick? Like a skateboarder?
Yeah. A skateboarder?
Yeah.
Welcome to Comic Confidential, the Skater Boy podcast.
Look, I can't pretend that I know cool things.
That is so old man. It's like the first thing, what's cool?
Skateboards. Ooh, you radical kids like skateboarding, right? That's dope.
No, you know what's cool? Being offended.
It is. So you're sick. You're ill.
Yeah, I'm ill. I'm the illest.
The illest.
Yeah.
But is that that's like a rap thing?
Yeah. Oh, am I a rapper now?
Oh, I think you're a rapper.
Yeah.
The only rapper you're rapping is the unwrapping of that strepsil is what I was trying to get at.
You nailed it, buddy. You nailed it.
Because you are genuinely sick.
Yes.
But good for you.
Yeah, so good for me. So if I sound like shit,
yes,
that is why.
That's why. If he sounds like shit every other week,
it's just my voice.
It's just him. It's got nothing to do with anything. If I haven't said so already, which I don't believe I have, my name is Troy. And this week, we are going to be talking about SHAZAM.
Oh, I thought you were going to do like a big one.
No.
Okay.
Just keeping it reserved.
Fair.
Yeah. I know it's got an exclamation mark at the end of it. So
I don't like that.
So you've kind of got to shout it.
Do you though?
Well, at no point in the movie, or even in the comics really, do you ever see him going like, SHAZAM, and then turning into Shazam? He yells it every time.
Maybe it's like a prerequisite. He can say it now in the comics without turning into or out of Shazam.
Yeah.
So maybe like the way to activate it is you have to yell it.
Yeah, but the wizard kind of did say, he's like, say my name. You know what I mean? He's not like, shout it.
Yeah.
Shout it from the roof. Scream my name. Wasn't that a Beyonce song?
Really?
Destiny's Child, Scream My Name.
Oh, wow.
I think it was Say My Name. Anyway, before we get into that, though, there are a couple of things you guys can do to help support the show.
First thing you can do is leave us a 5-star review on iTunes.
That's right.
Pulling out all the sick boys with skateboards.
all the dope radical kids.
Yeah.
I just don't.
Cowabunga, man.
Cowabunga. Or you can visit patreon.com/ComicConPod and help support the show that way. Or there's one other thing you can do.
Or you can join our listener community and join 350 billion now.
Billion, yeah.
We've got more people in that group than there is on this planet.
Yeah.
It's ever since they found that black hole in space. They took that picture.
They took that picture, and then all of a sudden, the community just grew.
Yeah, insane.
Yeah. There's a lot of aliens in there now.
So many.
Yeah.
They're quite attractive, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. I'd bang an alien.
Yeah.
That I wouldn't. But anyway, let's get into it. You ready? Ready to get into it? All right. So April, Cade, is movie madness, as I'm sure you're aware.
Oh, my wallet's telling me. My wallet is telling me.
And for the first of our 3 goddamn comic book movie reviews this month, we checked out the 7th installment into the all but rebooted Warner Brothers DC Entertainment movie universe. That is, of course, SHAZAM. Following on the back of the billion-dollar box office bonanza that is Aquaman, SHAZAM looks to continue steering the DC cinematic ship in the right direction. But does it succeed, Cade? We'll find out.
Let me tell you about this movie, Troy.
Okay.
Orphan. Is he an orphan?
Well, he's not technically not an orphan. He's a foster kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Foster boy.
Foster boy Billy Batson becomes the superhero Shazam when chosen by the ancient wizard to be his champion. Now, what did he do to have to be like his champion?
He just had to be pure of heart and available.
I feel like he needed to at least run around a park or something, like win an award.
Yeah.
Show me that you're worthy.
Hey, look, it's all about participation trophies these days, my friend. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
So that's what this is.
Struggling to find the balance between being a 14-year-old foster kid and an adult with superpowers, Billy must learn to harness his true power before the sinister Dr. Savannah takes it as his own.
Yeah, that's right. What a bastard.
Is he a bastard?
Yeah, he's a bastard.
I guess so.
Well, like, we'll get into it as to why, but it's kind of like, I want that thing. That man said I can't have it, but I want it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. So, starring Zachary Levi Jeans as Shazam, Asher Angel as Billy Batson, Mark Strong as Dr. Thaddeus Savannah, and Jack Dylan Grazer as Freddy, with Jamon Honsu, Grace Fulton, Cooper Andrews, and Marta Malans rounding out the cast, directed by David F. Sandberg, and with a runtime of 132 minutes. How's the movie doing financially, my friend?
Interesting. Opening weekend of $53 million with a domestic total so far of $64 million.
$64 million.
Foreign has taken 102. And this is a trend lately. Foreign's outdoing domestic.
Well, it always does because the market's
bigger,
1,000 times bigger.
But early on, though, that's surprising. I guess that has to do with like movies opening everywhere before the States.
Yeah, well, there's. I mean, you've got to understand. So it opened worldwide the same time that it opened domestically.
Ah, okay.
So yeah, it was a worldwide opening.
There you go.
So that's going to happen.
So at the moment, it is sitting at $167 million on a budget between $80 to $100 million. Wow.
Yeah, it depends on where you look.
That's a low budget.
Yeah, look, it is. Like some places report 80 million, some places are reporting 100, some places are reporting anywhere in between those two amounts.
Even 100 million for a superhero movie is quite low.
Yeah, I think what was Captain Marvel? Can you remember? We only did it not that long ago.
130?
Was it that much even?
Well, let me have a look.
Okay, well, you have a look, and I'll talk about how it's doing critically. Rotten Tomatoes has this sitting at 91% certified fresh, and if you want to be that guy...
It was 152 million.
Oh, damn, that's way bigger than I thought.
Way bigger.
Okay. If you want to be that person that's like, oh, is that the highest rated DC movie yet? It's not. Wonder Woman is still the highest at 93%. Has an audience score of 90%. IMDb has it as 7.7 out of 10. Metacritic at 72.
That's 1,000.
That is 1,000.
That's amazing.
All right, mate. Spoiler free. What do you think about Shazam?
Ooh.
Oh, good start. Good start.
Look. I had really high hopes for this
know it's
movie.
going to be bad when when your review starts off with a massive sigh and then a look.
Look, I had really high hopes for this movie, and I went on record to say that this might be the movie of the year.
That you did that many times.
And look, it delivered. I love this movie, Troy. This movie was fucking amazing. I had really high hopes, and I loved every second of this movie. It went by in a nanosecond.
Really?
Yep. Not one thing in this movie I can fault in its pacing, because everything just like worked out really, really well. You had to have a little bit of a slow start because you had to tell Billy's backstory, which is a bit lame.
Well, it takes around 40 to 45 minutes before Zachary Levi even shows up.
And that's okay.
Which is, it's a long time. I know it's I know it's technically an origin story, but that is a long time for the titular character to turn up in a movie. I think anyway.
But I loved Levi as Shazam.
Yeah.
He absolutely owns this role. He was born for that role.
Right.
I was never a big Chuck fan.
Yeah.
But this guy's got some good chops for what he needs to be. He is a big kid.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what this role needed.
Cool.
He nailed it. Very personable. I loved everything about it. He had the boyish charm. He had the muscle man looks. I don't know how I feel about the suit totally, because you could tell that's a padded suit.
Oh, it's 1,000% padded.
Because,
suit.
I mean, you compare that to the Batman suit, which was a padded suit, but it didn't look padded.
Well, you also compare it to, and like, we're not going to go on about body types and all that sort of stuff, and who really cares? Like, as long as, they do well in the role, whatever.
Yeah.
You look at when I'm going to call him Zach because I really don't know how to pronounce his last name.
Okay.
It's either Levi or Levy. But if you look at him doing the rounds now, He's very small. And
he's very lean.
He's very lean. Like, and I know it's been a fair bit of time since production finished, and he can obviously, he doesn't have to work out as much and all that sort of stuff. I have no doubt that he packed on a bit of muscle, because he had to have like at least a, sort of thick looking neck and, stuff like that. But the suit 1,000% helped him out.
Yeah, absolutely.
This isn't a Henry Cavill, I don't want padding in my suit. In fact, you have to remove the padding. Because I'm too big.
Yeah, exactly.
Sort of, yeah.
I think, though, you can give it leeway because Shazam is from my understanding, Shazam is the idea that Billy has of what a superhero should look like.
Right.
So maybe it looks like it's a little bit padded because in his mind, that's how he thinks a superhero should look.
Right.
He might not have like a really great memory of how like lean and jacked Superman is or Batman is.
Yep.
So in his mind, it just fills it out that way.
Well, remember, he doesn't really care.
Yeah, and that's it.
Like, he doesn't, it's superhero stuff isn't his thing.
Yeah.
In this movie anyway,
And it would have been good if it kind of touched on that.
Yeah.
Because it would have been kind of a thing where he says, because we get like a brother thing going on in this movie.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the supporting actor's name.
Who?
The one with the crippled
Freddie.
boy. Freddie, yeah. Would have been good if Freddie said, like, why aren't you like super jacked?
Yeah. Oh, look, he looks like it does, at no point does it look ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's obviously padded, and it's obviously not all Zach, and that's fine. Who cares? It does, it's obviously a suit though that's doing most of it, and that doesn't. Who cares?
You know what? It's bright fucking red.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to get that like hidden detail that you get in a bat suit or like the dark blue on the Superman suit.
Yep.
But overall, man, the character was fantastic. The villain was fun. And that's like a weird thing to say about this movie, that the villain was fun.
You think he was fun?
Yeah. But
in what way?
In the sense that the interactions with him was fun.
Right.
With Levi or Shazam. And I think the chemistry between them was really, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't really like fault the villain or the hero in this movie at all.
Interesting. What about the rest of the movie?
The story was good. I mean, I like the whole family aspect to this.
Yeah.
Because I mean, this is really what this whole movie's about is him finding his family or him finding his mom, but him actually finding his family inside.
Yeah.
And it's
the family inside.
The family inside. It's all very heartwarming. And yeah, I mean, I don't know what else I can really say about the movie without going into too many spoilers.
Sure.
The villain had a good arc. The villain was it suffers the same thing that all villains do, in that sometimes they're cheesy, but this movie wears that on its chest and owns it, which gets a massive pass for me for that.
Okay.
What about yourself?
I had a good time.
Yes.
I'm not going to gush over it the same way that you are. I think I agree with you completely that Zachary boy is perfect for this role. 100% agree with you. He absolutely knocked it out of the park. He's got that real kind of man childish kind of thing going on.
Yeah, most definitely.
And I think the interactions between him and Freddie, even when he was the adult version of Shazam, still worked really well. Like, you didn't actually, like, you were never kind of thinking this is a kid trying to be pally pal with a 30-year-old man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it never came across like that. So that worked really well. I would disagree almost completely with the villain.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think he started off strong enough, but then realistically, what happened? Like, what was the point of any of it? What was the point of the 7 deadly sins that were using him as a vessel and stuff like that? Those things were kind of there was nothing to that story. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not saying, again, this isn't a situation where stakes have to be world-ending.
Well, that's it. And this movie doesn't
technically
really...
they were.
Well, yeah, it was alluded to very early on in the movie, that the villain is the 7 deadly sins.
Yeah.
That's not a spoiler.
Yeah.
And
if they get released...
They can end the world.
Yeah.
Because it was kind of alluded to that they almost ended the world.
But then it kind of becomes a thing where it's like, all right, well now, like the only thing that there is to do to stop that from happening is to sort of get into a fist fight with Shazam and beat him. And I feel like there were multiple times where he could have done it and just didn't. And I didn't really understand any of what was happening.
Look, I think it was a little bit more than that because he wanted to take the power from Shazam.
No, I get that, but it's why didn't he? At any point when he was, well and truly on top, did he not take the power? And how was he going to take the power? Like, we never even found out how that happened. At least on the flip side, which we can't.
It's his magic eye, mate.
Well, you know what I mean? Like, and I don't know how much we can talk about without going into spoilers, but it's kind of like you knew what Shazam was trying to do.
Yes.
Right? Which was still pretty, not great, but I don't know what Savannah was trying to do.
Yeah, right.
On the flip side of that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that's fair enough.
And then the Seven Deadly Sins, who were supposed to be the big bad, kind of just floated around in the background and just popped out in some pretty shoddy CGI at times.
The budget shows.
Yeah.
Sometimes on the CGI.
Yeah.
Actually, a lot on the CGI. A lot on the flying, actually.
A lot on the flying.
Because I was like,
yeah,
come on.
But
this is 2019. That offends me.
Yeah, but well, everything offends you. But that said, like I still had a lot of fun. I enjoyed the movie immensely. I wouldn't necessarily say that it's a knockout of the park. I am definitely not going to be one of those people that sit there and go, "This is DC's best movie," because it just isn't.
Oh, it's definitely not DC's best movie. Yeah. This is like DC's third best movie. Maybe fourth best, maybe fifth best, but it's a lot of fun, this movie.
Yeah, so I think I'll talk about one more issue that I have.
Okay.
And then I'll leave it at that as far as the bad stuff.
Okay.
But I feel like tonally it was all over the place.
I will give you that.
Like it didn't really know what it wanted to be.
Yeah, because sometimes it's dark, sometimes it's light, and sometimes it's like really light.
Yeah, and then sometimes it's like this is almost horror movie-ish kind of dark.
Yeah, absolutely.
We got things getting their heads bitten off and stuff like that. So it's kind of like, where are you? Like, is this a movie for kids or is it not a movie for kids? Because there are points where you could go, oh, look, if I had a young kid, I'd take my kid to this.
Yeah, totally.
And there were so many kids in the cinema when I went. But it's like, oh boy, like some of those things you kind of like,
you're going to have nightmares.
Yeah, I don't know if that's something you need to be exposed to at such a young age. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But they were so few and far between. It's like, what was the point? You know what I mean?
I could almost see that movie getting recut for like a G rating.
Oh, you could. Like you could do that very easily.
Yeah.
PG at least. It was probably PG anyway.
Probably.
But I think like there are definitely some scenes in there that it's kind of very much like is this a kid's movie? Is this a movie for adults that kids can watch? Is it, where does it sit?
Yeah.
And I couldn't really pick what it was trying to go for. Does that make sense?
I completely understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just think tonally, and I do think it took a little bit long for us to get to Shazam, but I think once we got there, like the whole him and Freddy trying to figure out like what powers he had and all that sort of stuff. It was very, very good.
Do you think the trailers spoiled a lot of that, though?
Yes.
They spoiled nearly every part of it.
I am so glad because I only watched one trailer.
Oh, did you?
I watched the first trailer.
Okay.
And that was it. And I still saw too much. Like I still saw more than what I would have wanted to.
Yep.
But because I think there's no real sort of surprises in there. You know what I mean?
Not at all. I mean, the trailers actually, the trailers do show quite a lot.
Yeah.
For what happens in this movie.
Yeah.
There's almost something from every major action scene.
Yeah.
Which is a shame.
And I know I said I was only going to say one more bad thing, but the only other thing I would say is that the ending fell flat for me.
I'll agree on that.
The final sort of the final battle.
And that's only because I feel like the stakes weren't there for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd agree with that. But on the flip side of all that, to say something positive, just in case everybody thinks I'm being super fucking negative or whatever.
Which is really not like you.
It's not like me at all. But I did really enjoy this.
Yeah.
I had a lot of trouble, like, I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one. but I had a lot of trouble looking at Billy Batson and not going, you are a male version of Arya Stark from Game of Thrones. You know what I mean? He looks exactly like a boy Macy Williams, and it just did my head in.
Really?
Yeah.
I have no idea who.
I know you don't.
Yeah.
But people out there will.
And they're like, he's right.
Yeah. So if you didn't think it, go back and watch it. It's very hard to look at.
Okay.
Yeah. But I loved the interplay between Freddy and Shazam.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Very good.
Cool. So that's kind of where I sit.
Nice.
Let's talk about spoilers.
Spoilers.
All right.
Okay. Let's start with Billy Batson.
Yeah.
What do you think of this whole backstory? Like his young mother leaving him behind.
Weird.
So weird. Like, that's unrealistic.
Yeah, it's like,
I get it. It's a comic book movie, but like,
what's less realistic is when he goes back there
yeah,
and meets her, and she's just like, oh, look, I'm really busy right now.
look, I got to wash my hair.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I'm about to go to work. I don't have time for a son.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
this isn't a good time for me. And it's like, okay, this is where I got a little bit confused, like with the tone of this movie, because it's kind of like, it builds everything up to be, and I know this is the adversity that they had to do in that. Right at the end of the second act, so he becomes a hero again in the third. It's like, it's a playbook for superhero movies.
yeah, yeah.
But it missed the mark.
Yeah.
Like, they could have left that out. It could have just been, he would never
finds
mother.
her.
Or maybe she's dead.
Yeah.
That would have been better.
Makes so much more sense. When his foster family, the little kids were saying that we found your parents.
Yeah.
Or whatever. It would have made 1,000% more sense if it said your dad's in jail and unfortunately your mum died.
Yeah.
5 years ago.
Yeah,
or whatever.
absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then he'll never see her.
Yeah.
Instead of him finding her, running there, having a 2-minute conversation.
And then never mentioning that again.
And then kind of, that's all it takes for him to go, it's like, and that's all it takes for her.
Yeah.
She's just as like, that is some cold hearted shit.
Yes.
If you're like 14-year-old kid.
That type of story belongs in BVS. Not in this movie.
Yeah. This is too bright. This is too bright and fun for that kind of horror.
It's like he opens the door and it's like, oh, no, I'm not Martha.
I am so surprised there wasn't a Martha joke in here.
They should have named her Martha.
I was waiting for
They
something.
should have named her Martha. Like,
if it was Deadpool, they would have named her Martha.
Absolutely. But yeah, that was like, because that was like the whole first part of the first act of this movie.
Yeah.
Is we're finding out who Billy Batson is and why Billy Batson is doing what he's doing.
Yeah, yeah. But I do like where it pushed it. Like, it obviously they needed that to push him into understanding that the family that he has now is the only family that he needs.
Yeah.
And I like that, and I really like that story, and I like the whole family doesn't necessarily have to mean, who your relatives are. It can be, whoever's around you and whoever cares and, that sort of thing. It's a whole Fast and Furious thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, none of them are related. You know what I mean? But they're all family. So it's that kind of thing. This is the Fast and Furious of the DC universe.
It absolutely is.
Yeah. I'm calling it now.
Yes. What do you think of the powers, though?
I feel like they really underpowered him.
Yeah, absolutely.
For now.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that changes at some point. And I get it's an origin story and all that sort of stuff. I really liked what they did with it, but I think it was underplayed for how powerful the character actually is.
Absolutely. And I'm wondering if that's because he doesn't realize the power that he has.
Possibly.
Because the villain, I don't know if the villain's that powerful, Troy.
Well, it seemed like he was
he seemed
10 times more powerful.
He seemed like he was Black Adam, but not Black Adam.
Yeah. So you imagine that Shazam going up against a Black Adam.
Oh, yeah. No way. He'll be toast.
Yeah. So, but again, I mean, that's almost, you could call that nitpicking, because this is an origin story.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
He hasn't gone full Brie Larson, Captain Marvel.
He hasn't gone binary.
He hasn't gone binary yet.
Yeah.
And I actually thought, like, when I think it was Savannah or somebody at some point said he needs to realize, or before he realizes his true potential, I dead set thought they were going to go exactly the same way.
Really?
And at some point towards the end of the movie, he was going to go like full binary.
Yeah.
And like, just.
And he picks up Thor's hammer. And
Yeah. But, like, some sort of like Dragon Ball Z, just fucking lightning just like pouring off him and stuff like that.
Oh, I kind of would have wanted that. Would have been cool.
Oh, me too. But I understand why they didn't.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of like, well, his real hidden power is the fact that he can turn all his foster friends into superheroes as well.
Into the Shazam family.
The Shazam family,
Let's
which
talk about that.
Did not expect.
Yeah, I did.
Did you? Did you know, or did you think it was going to happen?
Look, there was so much writing on the wall for me because it's based on Jeff Johns' 52 run of Shazam.
Yeah.
Like, it was almost like taken out of the comics.
Right.
So I was like, I have a very strong feeling we're going to get the Shazam family here.
Yeah.
And sure enough, we did.
And I guess it makes it there's 7 of them, and then there's like the 7 deadly sins, and like it all makes sense that everything is 7.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the number 7 is everywhere.
I was disappointed that the
Chinese people, by the way, are going to eat this movie up. Number 7's big for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's characters throughout this movie.
Yeah.
Wonder if they're famous in that country.
That too.
Well, when the Shazam family gets turned into actual Shazam characters, we do get different multicultural characters.
Oh, are you saying because there's an Asian one in there?
Well, Troy, it's really not uncommon because they'll put big name Asian characters or I guess celebrities in these movies to really boost it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that dude is an American actor.
Well, of course.
And he's from like, I want to say 13 Reasons Why. Something like that.
Actually, you know what? I think he is from 13 Reasons Why. What do you think of Ryan from the OC?
Oh,
California.
It's Seth, by the way.
Who cares?
Not Ryan, mate. Get your OC facts straight. As soon as I saw Seth from the OC, I was just like, I am fucking in.
Yes. How good was he?
Give me this movie. It's like if you had have asked me prior to this who should have played an adult Freddy, if I had have had a time to sit down and think about it, I would have come back and said Adam Brody. And he fucking did.
Is that not the most perfect casting you've ever seen?
Second only to Zach as Shazam, probably.
Yeah.
But Adam Brody as an adult Freddy.
You know what I would love? Those two to do a buddy movie together.
Well, see, here's the thing. You know Adam Brody isn't jacked as fuck.
Oh, yeah. You see that skinny neck sticking out of that suit?
Skinny neck, but these like just massive shoulders and like all that sort of stuff. Yeah, that was a bit strange. But yeah, I enjoyed the whole thing.
Yeah.
I feel like they're all quite powerful though. So it's like, is Shazam any more powerful than any of them? And like, where does this go from here? You know what I mean? Because now that you've established there's effectively 7 superheroes, why can there not be that going forward? Do you know what I mean?
Okay, this is where the gray area is around this. Now, can they just say Shazam and turn into these characters now? Or was that something where they had to like be holding the stick and...
If I was to look at it, because I don't know. So as far as even comics, I don't know.
Yeah.
Right? I have not read a ton of Shazam. All right. But I would look at it like this. If Billy only had to do it once with the wizard Shazam, and
surely
then from there only had to say Shazam every time from there, surely by proxy of that, it would be the same thing, right?
You would think so.
You would think so. But it then doesn't make any sense that they've now got an entire like foster home filled with superheroes and all seem equally as powerful as the original Shazam.
However, they can only do the one superpower.
Is that true though?
That's what I gathered from the movie.
Well, that's what it seemed like. But I mean, then you're looking at...
I don't know in the comics though.
So, well, you're looking at, say, like Freddy, and Freddy's flying.
Yeah.
Right? But he's also, you know...
He's fighting a deadly sin.
Yeah, he's going toe-to-toe with a deadly sin. So he's obviously got super strength. Mary, you see, rips one off of her and throws it, no problems and stuff like that. You know, even the speedy one, what's her name? Darlene?
Yeah.
Darla? One of them? She does a lot of things as well. And then you've got the other guys who's like, you know, he's holding up the friggin' Ferris wheel and stuff like that. So I don't know, man. Like it's it's kind of like it's like how, like, if you look at it like this, right? The Flash. How does the Flash exist as the Flash if he doesn't have things like super strength and super invulnerability?
Yeah,
et cetera, et cetera. Do you understand?
Those
like,
all kind of come along
they
with.
have to kind of come with it.
Yeah. So surely, like by proxy, they have to have those powers.
Yeah.
Or at least like something of a small amount of it.
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah. But I don't know. And I don't know how they're going to work with that going forward now.
You know what? I don't think they'll even mention it again.
You don't think so?
No.
It's a pretty big thing for if you're a foster kid, right? And your foster brother turned you into a superhero, and then it's just like, no, we're never going to do that again.
Well, it all really depends on the approach that they take with the Black Adam movie.
Yeah.
Because Black Adam is known in a couple of different ways in the comics.
Yeah.
Now, do you think they'll do an anti-hero?
Well, it's The Rock, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you think The Rock's going to play like a straight out
Bad
villain?
guy? No way. Yeah,
probably
exactly.
not. Yeah. So,
and that's why I don't think that they'll really touch on the whole family of Shazam again.
maybe.
I could, to be honest, I could see Shazam and The Rock working together.
Right. I have to go on record again and say I am not keen on seeing The Rock as Black Adam.
I'm so keen.
Are you? How?
Yeah.
Like what has he done in his entire back catalogue that would make you go, you know what? Fuck yes. The Rock is Black Adam. Hell yes. Give it to me.
Look, Troy, you essentially, if you actually take him as The Rock from WWE,
Right.
and apply that,
No.
yes.
No. That is not what Black Adam is.
That's what it is. That's what this one will be. This is what
this one will be. But that's only because that's all The Rock can do. You know what I mean? The Rock can be The Rock. That's it.
I honestly feel like that we'll be seeing The Rock take Shazam under his wing to make him better.
That would be shit.
What do you want to see?
Well, I want to see Shazam versus Black Adam.
I want to see.
But I don't think we're going to do it. I don't think Dwayne Johnson has what it takes as an actor to be an outright villain.
Yeah.
Right? I just don't think anyone can look at him and go, that's a fucking evil prick. You know what I mean?
Okay, that's fair.
And I don't think he has that charisma
To pull it off.
Even when he was...
Well, no, it's actually the opposite, Troy. He has too much charisma to stay as a bad guy.
Yeah, so I guess that's kind of what I mean. It's kind of like, you know, his charisma is too much that you're like, well, he's super likable. So then you have to go, well, it's going to be any hero.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be somebody who's doing some like bad shit, but is probably a good dude or at least a guy that you can cheer for.
Yes, exactly.
And that's kind of more what he could pull off. But he's just not a really good actor, is he?
Yeah.
So
he's,
you know what I mean?
Look,
I don't know, man.
What's he going to do? Just flex his muscles a bit?
Yeah,
look, I'll buy my tickets.
Yeah, I've already bought mine.
It's already in production.
Well, is it?
Well, as production as DC gets.
Yeah.
With 30 other properties.
Well, he also said that filming should start next year.
Yeah, 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're only in April, so there's still...
You know he was
like
a producer
fair way
of this movie?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Because I saw him jump on Instagram. He's taking all this credit. I'm like, motherfucker, did you even do anything?
Yeah.
It's, I produced it. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
all right,
that's fair. All right. I get it, Rock.
I get it.
Just take it easy, mate. But this isn't about The Rock, goddammit. All right, so a couple of things I want to talk about. One thing I really want to talk about is
Is it Lionel Luthor?
Well, yeah, okay. Let's do that.
This guy.
I was going to talk about the final battle, but
Okay.
let's talk about Lionel Luthor.
Well, let's build up the villain and then talk about the final battle.
Okay.
So Lionel Luthor, this has to be like his 18th DC property that he's showed up in.
Surely.
Why does he always play a prick?
What I don't understand is effectively he looks exactly the same as he did at the start when everyone were children.
Yes.
He's just got a bit of grey in his beard, and now all his sons are 40 plus.
But Troy.
So he would technically, he would have to be 70 something.
At least.
He didn't look like
That's
70.
fair, actually.
You know what I mean?
But let's be honest. He hasn't aged a day since Smallville.
Yeah, so he like aged terribly up to Smallville and then hasn't aged a day since then. Yeah.
What happened?
I don't know.
You ran into that kryptonite.
It's when as soon as he became Darkseid.
That meteor rock.
Once he became Darkseid, he lost all ability to age.
Yeah. Like, forget the anti-life equation. He found the anti-age equation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah, so I don't know. It was good to see him there, but it's like, come on, man. How many DC movies or properties do you need on your resume?
He wants all of them, Troy.
Go be in a Marvel movie.
Oh, what would you want him as?
I don't know, someone old. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
I would have said, like he could have been. Ooh, I was going to say like Obadiah Stane, but Jeff Bridges was fucking perfect. For
yeah,
that.
he was.
So, whatever.
Yeah,
I don't care. But we've got to lead up to the villain.
Okay, so absolutely cliche, like origin.
Yeah,
you're picked on. You're worthless. Everyone in your family hates you.
Yep. So you somehow become like super rich.
Yeah.
And super smart, which is fine. They're
That's
both completely whatever. And then, you spend your entire life looking for this doorway and then somehow you find it and no one even really knows how you did that. I still don't really understand how you did it.
Up there on its own.
Yeah. And then, so you manage to do it and then you go in there and.
You know what I noticed? And it's the stupidest shit.
What?
Is that his office is completely different in decoration to everywhere else in that building.
Well, the only thing that I could think of is perhaps he built a lab into the house. Like maybe it's like his own house.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe.
Because I had the impression that it was like a big corporate building.
That's what I thought initially as well, until they walked into that room. And it's like, that is your study.
Yeah, it's either you got a decorator in just for that room.
There are many rich leather-bound books
yes.
in there. It smells like mahogany.
Completely unfazed by that woman.
Yeah.
Turning to dust.
Yeah. He's just like, oh, that's cool.
I'm going to touch it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just got to believe in yourself.
Yeah,
really.
that's it.
Yeah.
It's like, he didn't even second guess it. He's like, I'm going to touch that.
Look, all I really want to say about it, though, is that I think for the first part, I think it was good. I think it was fine. I just think it lost kind of what it was trying to achieve. Like, I had no idea what he was trying to do. I knew he wanted Shazam's powers, but I didn't really know why, and I didn't really know how he was going to get them.
Well,
It's like, does he kill them and then they go into his body?
Look,
I
think I might be able to shine some light on it.
Okay.
I think he wanted to kill Shazam because Shazam was the only thing that was stopping him from taking over the world.
Superman?
Well,
I know he's magic based and, Superman can obviously be affected by magic.
But no one knows that in this universe as of yet.
Yeah.
But that was my impression.
Right.
But it also seemed to forget that there was other heroes in this universe.
Did it? Because it seemed to throw it in your face every 2 minutes.
The villain did.
Oh, okay, yeah. Right.
Because I feel like if this was all going on, Superman would be notified.
Yeah.
And he would just be taken out quite quickly.
Well, he did turn up at the end, didn't he?
Oh boy, did you get a stiffy?
I didn't.
Fuck off.
I didn't. There are 2 people in the world, right? When it comes to this sort of thing. One of them is going to love it, right?
And the other will be like,
and the other will be like, cringe. Like, if you can't get Henry Cavill, don't do that. This isn't this type of movie. Like, you've taken us back 20 years where it's like, oh, so you don't have the rights to use that character, so we're not going to mention their name, or you know what I mean? Like, if you've got Superman and you've got enough to show the suit, then if you're not going to show the man, you've already well and truly established the fact that you're in some sort of DC universe.
Yeah.
You know Superman exists, you know Batman exists, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We don't necessarily know that it's set in the DC EU. End credit scene would seem to, Aquaman's a thing.
Yep.
So all that sort of stuff. But then to kind of do the whole well, here's Superman, but not. It's kind of like, I'm just like, just don't do it then.
Man, you hate good stuff, eh?
I just don't think it's good. Like, I think
it is good.
Amazing would have been Henry Cavill in the Superman suit.
You know what would have been amazing? Henry Cavill with a mustache in the Superman suit.
Well, the reason they couldn't get Henry Cavill was, again, because of Mission Impossible Fallout. So Mission Impossible Fallout has fucked up two goddamn DC movies.
See, I read that it was because he was... Warner Brothers weren't sure that they were going to keep him on as Superman.
It doesn't matter. Even if they don't keep him on, at that point in time, he still is, isn't he? So it's going to make no difference whatsoever if you later on change the character. Because at that point in time, Henry Cavill, to everybody's mind, is still Superman.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I don't see why they couldn't do it.
Yeah, look, I would have loved seeing Henry Cavill there.
Yeah.
Surely they even have like enough CGI footage for it.
Surely. But we've seen how that goes.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? But so I would have liked it if they had just left it.
Yeah. Yeah, I get you.
I get what they were trying to do, but I think it kind of ruined it by having it cut off at the head. You're like, come on, man. Like,
man, I loved it.
Like, why bother? It's like 10 seasons of Smallville and never seeing Tom Welling in the suit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now it's the opposite of that. It's the suit, but they're not giving us Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like, well, just don't do it.
Well,
it looks cheesy. You know what? It looks cheesy as shit.
We need to let the listeners tell us what they think of that. If it was good or not.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's fair. We can ask them that. But I just think like it's almost a cop-out. You know what I mean? It's like it really is sort of that thing where it's kind of like it looks cheesy and cheap because it's kind of like, it's like your own movie doesn't have the rights to these characters or something. You know
what I find interesting is that Shazam is already on a friend level with Superman.
And that too.
Yeah. That's what I found like more unbelievable.
Yeah.
So take that as you will.
Yeah. So that's, I wasn't impressed.
Yeah.
So that's just me.
Fair enough.
What else do you want to talk about? We're going to talk about the mid-credit scene.
Have we spoken enough about the final battle?
What else is there to say?
I wish that the 7 deadly sins were 7 different people.
Yeah, that would have been better.
That would have been a better villain.
Yep.
But it would have just stretched them a little bit thin.
Yeah. I think at the very least, they just kind of needed to be a bit more distinctive. Because at no point
I couldn't tell the difference.
Yeah, who knows who was greed and who was sloth and who was.
I only knew the fat one was gluttony.
Yeah, and that's but it's like it was almost for me on par to
Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad, Faceless Monsters.
Yeah, no, I'll give you that.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I think you're right. I would have much preferred them to have actually just been like villain adult people.
Yeah,
like different people.
Yeah.
Would have made way more.
Yeah, absolutely.
It would have been way cooler.
Yeah, definitely.
Because like the whole thing, like they effectively, the whole point to all those 7 deadly sins was to effectively run around and grab people. Because because
and they were just holding them.
They were just holding them.
Yeah.
That's all that happened. And that to me is not, it's just not.
If they wanted to go that monster route, they should have made it more horror based.
Yeah, and then that's the flip side to that. I mean, if that's the route you're going to go, then commit to that.
Yeah, exactly.
And have it as that.
I'll be honest, they were like scary looking creatures.
Yeah.
And like if you did take a young kid to that movie, they might be like, that's fucking scary, man.
Yeah.
So lean into it, own it, or completely divert from it and just stick with normal villains.
Yeah, for sure. Look, we'll wrap it up.
Yep.
I feel like we've probably spoken more about the stuff that could have been improved upon other than the stuff that was really good. And I don't want to take away from what the movie did well, because what it did do well, it did really well.
Park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were just some things that it just didn't. End credit scene. What do you think? Do you understand?
I do.
Yeah.
It's a deep dive.
It's a deep dive.
It's a very deep dive. And this is why I think we're going to get The Rock as an anti-hero.
So do you think they will team up to take on
the like this version of Sinister Six.
Yeah, what are they called?
It's like old timey friggin' like
it's like Monsters of Evil or
something like that. It's not like even Legion of Doom or anything like that. It's like a old timey version of what all this was.
Yeah. So obviously, like we're talking about the caterpillar,
yes,
right, which is Mr. Mind. I just had to look it up very quickly. It's the Monster Society of Evil.
There you go.
That he effectively creates, and it seems like he is trying to get Savannah to team up and create the Monster Society of Evil. So whether we get that or not, which Black Adam was a member of at some point.
Yes, he was.
So that might be the way they do it. Maybe Black Adam comes in initially as one of them, and then they team up to take it apart. Who knows?
Maybe.
I'm not really interested in The Rock. I do want to see more Shazam.
How do you think he would fit into this new Justice League world?
Not very well, because he's just The Rock.
No, I'm talking about Shazam.
Oh, I think it'd fit in fine, because I think like it, it's the way Zach plays it, like he would play it like it's a 14-year-old kid meeting these heroes and stuff like that. Like the only thing I think that would become a problem is they kind of already have that in the Flash.
Yes.
So it's kind of a little bit almost like they've got that character already. So either the Flash needs to grow up pretty quickly and become competent,
or we get these two as a buddy.
Yeah.
Buddy system.
Yeah. Something
which
like that.
I would dig that.
I've got to see more of the Flash to know whether I dig it or not.
Who do you think has a better running style? Definitely Shazam.
I didn't really see Shazam run that much, but definitely Shazam. I get why they went for it. I understand why they chose that.
He looks like a speed skater.
Yeah. And that's, when you think like he's not actually running, it's going to be more like a speed skate style of thing. I get it.
But it's shit.
Fucking looks terrible.
It's the worst. I want him to trip and break his neck.
Yeah. That's probably why he's tripping all the time anyway.
Yeah,
he's got a stupid
like a
running
dickhead.
style.
Yeah.
Pick your feet up. You're not speed skating. You're going to trip over gutters. I guess we've got to actually rate it, which we haven't done yet. I think obviously I know where you're going to go. Hit, share, split.
Oh, it's a hit, mate. It's out of the park.
Hit it out of the park.
Yeah, it's a grand slam home run. That's when all four batters come home, Troy.
Based on the fact that we've got only 3 options, for me it is a hit. It's not as much of a hit as I wanted it to be,
exactly
though.
the same as me.
It's not.
It's exactly the same.
It's not as much as I wanted it to be. I can't be split on it in the sense of like it wasn't that. Like I think the good parts did outweigh the bad parts.
Yep.
I just think the bad parts were bad when they were there.
Well, Troy, what did our listeners have to say about Shazam?
Well, let me tell you, Cade, because we asked them very simply in a poll, Shazam, hit, shit, or split, and 72% said hit. 28% said split, and absolutely nobody said shit.
Which is amazing for a DC movie.
And I think that's fairly right. I think you would have to be some kind of super mega hater
absolutely.
to say that this movie was shit. I can understand why you might be split on it. But I think, you
can't go into this. You can't come out of this movie and go, I hated that.
That was fucking terrible.
Yeah, I'll never watch that again.
I wouldn't understand that.
No.
But I can understand why you might be split. I can also well and truly understand why you think it's a hit. So thank you.
This is the most understanding version of Troy I've ever met.
Yeah, this is the new me.
Wow.
New year, new me.
It's kind of like the new DCEU.
Yeah, whatever that's called.
How do you like where it's going now?
I think this is a much better approach.
Yep.
I think that.
Do you feel this is Marvelized?
Man, I don't want to make those comparisons. Like, I think it's what DC should have done at the start.
Yes.
I think instead of trying to rush to like cram all these characters together, just remember by the second movie, we had the holy trinity together. We had Wonder Woman, Superman, and Batman in the same movie. And I think like they didn't give us time to kind of like grow to love these versions of these characters.
I know, and that's the thing. It's a rock and a hard place because while whatever your opinion on those movies are,
Yep.
not many people can say those versions of those characters are terrible.
Yeah, but so there were still people that were kind of, very up in arms about Zack Snyder's Superman.
Yeah.
From Man of Steel.
Yes.
And then, you go and you take the focus away from him and you throw in two more characters that now it's kind of like, well, you also need to love these two, remember, because this is Batman and this is Wonder Woman. You have to love these three, right? That's kind of what they're saying to us, but they're not giving us time to grow with these versions of those characters.
But everyone did love them anyway.
I don't think they did, though. That's the problem.
I reckon people did.
Do you spend time on the internet, Kate?
Yeah. Absolutely. I honestly, I do believe there was like people genuinely enjoyed the characters. They may not have enjoyed the movie.
And I will tell you this, it was a very small percentage of people that kind of said, fuck yes, that Superman is amazing.
Okay.
Right?
What about Wonder Woman?
That's fair though, right?
Yeah.
Wonder Woman different, but she didn't do a lot in this particular movie.
Yeah.
So it wasn't until Wonder Woman that we all went, yeah, fuck yeah, that Wonder Woman is what we want.
Yeah.
Batman was very hit and miss as well.
Yeah, okay, fair.
So I think, it is...
Everyone loved them.
So it's really kind of hard to say, but I think to answer your question, I think they should have taken time and done single story focused things, eventually building to the Justice League. Do you know what I mean? Rather than, trying to rush it all and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't want to make the Marvel and DC comparisons.
But I've got to give you one more.
Okay, sure.
Which one was your favorite Captain Marvel?
Man, it's too different.
No, it's not. Which movie did you enjoy more? That's all I'm asking.
Okay. I probably had more fun.
I just want a simple answer. Which one did you enjoy more? If you had the choice of both of those movies sitting in front of you.
All right, now that I've seen them both.
Yes.
And I've seen them both quite recently, if you had to put one on the TV, if you had them both on the TV on Netflix and you're like, Troy, you got to watch one of these right now. Which one are you going to watch? It'd probably be Shazam.
Yeah, me too.
And, and that's probably purely because it was a bit more fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was a bit lighthearted and stuff like that. So, I'd go that way. But I want to see Captain Marvel again.
Yeah, not to say that I wouldn't watch the other one.
Yeah.
I don't watch that one.
Anyway,
so take that as you will.
Oh God. Take that if you can. Like, no one knows what's even going on anymore. That's it. Shazam is a rating from both of us. It's a hit.
It's a big hit.
It's one of them. It's definitely worth taking the time and going out and checking it out. We will be back next week with, I believe, a Hellboy review, which is kind of also seeming to like, oh boy.
Oh, Hellboy. Do I have to see it?
Not doing well critically as at time of recording.
Yeah.
Let's just put it that way.
Fuck a critic.
Exactly. Fuck a critic. I mean, we've said that for the longest time, even all the way through Suicide Squad.
Which you still rated.
At the time.
You called it the biggest hit of 2017.
I'm pretty sure I didn't. We said it all the way through season 1 of Iron Fist.
I think we did say that was shit though.
I think no, we didn't actually.
Didn't we?
We were very, very easy on it, and it was only until later that we came back and said that no, it was actually shit.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But we were very much fuck a critic at the time. But fuck a critic. We'll go. We're going to go and we're going to see Hellboy, and we're going to have that review for you next week. That's it.
Yep.
So in the meantime, if you want access to previous episodes and the other fantastic shows on our network, head to ccradio.com.au and do that.
Yep.
And that's where they all are.
They're all there.
Absolutely. Anything else before we wrap it up, my friend?
No, let us know what you thought of Shazam. Let us know what you thought was the better movie out of Captain Marvel and Shazam.
And what was the other thing? There was another thing that we wanted to... Wasn't there?
What do you think of DC characters?
Oh,
was that it?
God. It was 2 minutes ago, mate.
No. Why are you having to go at me? You can't even remember.
It was something to do about Shazam and something. This is going on for too long. I'm going to wrap it up. If you can remember, let us know. There was something in there we spoke about. It was something to do with something.
Okay.
All right. Just listen for it. It was in there. Go back, rewind.
And let us know.
Let us know. Don't even let us know the answer to that question. Just let us know what the question was in the first place. That is it. Thanks for listening. As always, I'm Troy.
I'm Cade.
And this has been Comic Confidential.
Cheers.
Peace.